Hey everyone, Alison here, and it is time for me to do my comparison of these two mercerized cotton yarns. So this is from my stash. This is leftover of the Noble Cotton, mercerized cotton that we've been carrying in our store for quite some time, and it is specifically left over from making a few of these. So this is a washcloth, and this is one of my favorite washcloth patterns. I think it's up on our website. If it's not, I will definitely post it there. So I am basically going to make another washcloth out of this, and then we will compare. So this one says to use a 4mm needle, or hook, sorry. So I've got a 4mm hook, and I am going to find the center, find the end. I like to do a center pull because then my yarn doesn't sort of bounce all over the place. Quite often you get what we call a little yarn barf. That's okay. I'll just untangle it real quick. And this is the pattern that we're following. So I've got the original pattern, which creates a bigger washcloth, dishcloth, and then my smaller version. So I'm just gonna do my smaller one today, and we'll go from there. The pattern calls for a 4.5mm hook size. We're gonna try it with the 4, and I'm curious to see the size difference. Okay, so I'm gonna start with the slip knot, and the pattern calls to chain 25, I believe it is. Yep. So I'm going to do that. This is not a, oh, okay, already. What have I done here? Hang on. This cotton is stiffer than the other cotton. So already I am not liking it as much as the other cotton, I gotta say. Yeah, and I'm gonna go up to a bigger hook because this is just gonna be a pain in the butt. Okay, hang on. Got my larger hook size, got my slip knot back on. So this is a 4.5. Oh, yeah, I don't like this yarn at all. Sorry, guys. Okay, took me a little while, but I've got my chain of 25. Now the pattern calls for us to basically single crochet all the way back. I like to do it into the back bump here. So I'm gonna do that, and then I will meet you back, and we'll do a couple rows of the pattern. So before I do that, you can just watch me single crochet for a minute. The yarn, so it's quite stiff, I am finding. I'm definitely used to working with softer yarns, but I've also done some crochet with more of a macrame cord, and other types of yarn, so it's not like I'm unfamiliar with something that is not necessarily considered, or what you would call like wool. But this is just really stiff. So I'm curious to see how it's going to crochet up and how the finished washcloth is going to be. And yeah, it keeps slipping off my hook because it's not really gripping. It's just hard to work with. But like I said, I'm curious to see what the finished dishcloth is going to be like, because it could have some really good like scrubbing qualities, and I could see if you're going to make like a bucket hat out of this, it would give it nice structure. So I will reserve final judgment for when this dishcloth is finished, but for right now, I am not super in love with this. Okay, so let's finish this row and I'll meet you when I'm done. Okay, I have finished my row 1, single crochet across, so I've now got 24 stitches. I started with a chain of 25. And then the next row, so I'm going to chain 1 and turn, and in my next row I am going to single crochet in the first stitch. I'm going to skip the next stitch, and then I'm going to single crochet and double crochet into the next stitch. And then that's the repeating pattern. So you skip a stitch, single and double in the same stitch. So you should end up with the same number of stitches at the end of your row, and you just basically repeat this pattern until you have the size of dishcloth that you want. For this smaller size, I think I do about 20 rows. Okay, so I've reached the end of my row. I've done a single and a double in the second to last stitch. I've got 1 stitch left. I'm going to put a single crochet in that stitch. Chain 1 and turn. And then you just repeat the pattern. Single crochet in the first stitch, skip a stitch, single and double in the next stitch, all the way across. So I'm going to work this up until it's the same size as the one that I've made previously with the mercerized cotton, and then we'll take a look at the two of them side by side. I am back and I'm all finished my washcloth, and as you can see, it's a fair bit bigger than the Noble Cotton mercerized cotton washcloth that I made. Exact same pattern, same number of stitches and rows. I'm pretty sure I used a 4.5 millimeter hook. I perhaps didn't write it down, but I'm pretty sure that's what I used for this. So yeah, so this, the Lion brand 24/7 cotton, definitely crochets up bigger. It maybe crochets up more like a worsted weight, and they do say it's a 4 weight, whereas the Noble Cotton is definitely a 3 weight. It looked like a 3 weight, just the strands. I mean, it is basically the same width around. But yeah, so that, you know, that's been my experience for what it's worth. Okay, so 24/7 cotton. My opinion, I don't love it as much as the mercerized cotton. It is not as easy to crochet with. It is stiffer. However, price point is good. And I can see using this, like this would be a really excellent dishcloth. It's going to give you great scrubability. I also stand by my earlier statement that this would make a great like bucket hat or bag if you want to make that, because it's a bit stiffer, so it would just hold the pattern and the shape a bit better. Okay, so there you go. Use a bigger hook than they say, in my opinion, but you know, once I got working with it, it was okay. It wasn't horrible, but I still prefer this. All right, thanks guys. And if you like this kind of thing, I give the video a thumbs up, and I'll put more videos like this on our channel.